See if we can.
The Nimrod. That's your character, Travis.
I was going to say Donk is the Nimrod. I mean,
yeah, I was going to say, but there's no way that bird could carry me.
Yeah, I don't know how that word slipped out of my mouth, but
that would be a good idea, though.
That would be real good. We find the Nimblewright, but
yeah,
we need to
by
find
this time,
who sent the Nimblewright. I mean, he's just.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, by this time, Donk's tired of using it. I'm just using it to scratch my ass. That little umbrella is really good at scratching in there deep where I can't reach.
All right,
I'm not touching it.
You're gonna break it.
He's got that hook up his nose. It's just perfect.
That's right.
Right.
In his ears, digging out earwax.
Ugh.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this thing busted. Don't try for a long time. It only work when it's next to Nim. Here go, Birdie. I'll hand it off to you.
Okay. So, yeah, as the sun starts to set... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, as Erica gets it, I say, hey, you're the best one to search the city, so you could find Nim, I think, pretty quickly, or Nim's son, pretty quickly, but we need to find out who sent him, and I don't know that we can interrogate the thing.
Well, I mean, the sun's going down, so if you want to send Urka up, I mean, you're not going to need to worry about trying to find some way to fly, whether it be a fly scroll or maybe hiring a griffin rider or something. So you have that covered. That's a great thing. So, Waterdeep is divided up into different wards. North Ward, South Ward, Docks Ward, etc. So it would take hours to do. So if you want to send Urka out, she could start scouring the different wards to see if she can find anything with the Nimblewright, because remember, it's within 500 feet. And then if you guys want to figure out what you want to do, trying to find out where the dead bodies are, that they would probably be in some type of maybe one of the temples, or maybe one of the magistrate and protector's office or something like that. That's definitely a possibility, because they're probably not going to put those corpses under the earth right away until maybe investigation is done. So they're probably in some type of like morgue or something right now.
So I think what we need to do is we need to find a gnome, go to the watch and say, hey, I think this guy's a relative of our little gnome friend here, and we get into see the body that way. What do you think?
Yeah, that could be possible. Yeah.
I think that when we find a Nimblewright, it's going to be close to whoever it's working for, or who sent it on its bidding. Or I think, to me, the key would be to find a Nimblewright. But yeah, I mean, whatever works.
It can't have gotten very far. It couldn't hurt for me to go locate it, stake it out, while you guys do your thing, and we'll meet back up after the sun goes.
All right. Well, that's fine then, and you can cover a lot of distance pretty quickly. So go ahead and see if you can find it. We'll go from there. Once we track it down, then we'll know.
Flume's probably in the bar. He probably knows where we can find the bodies, or Neverember. Some of those guys would know, I would think.
Wait, what's the ghost's name again? The bar?
Lif. L-I-F. L-I-F.
Lif?
Yep, Lif.
Can't he sub it like ghosts?
Can he do what now?
Can't he sub a ghost like how he did?
He can't summon ghosts, but I guess he could probably see in the incorporeal plane. He could. That's how we probably found the other poltergeist to help work for you guys.
How about he just calls the gnome?
That's a good idea. I mean, that's a good idea. But I actually, that's pretty good. Why don't you give yourself an inspiration for that idea too, Wookrath? You can add an inspiration.
And
to
you can
your
remember his
character.
name because he used to live, and now he's deaf.
Wah wah. So why don't you give me a percentage die roll on that idea, Wookrath? Right click on that 10-sided down there, click on the percent symbol, and then throw that into the chat. I'll give it about a 10% chance. So if he gets like a 91 to 100, I'll give it about an 80% chance of success. Even though he wouldn't really be a poltergeist anyway. It would be it's a pretty cool idea, and I'll reward it if it works out. So, all right, so you get with Liff, and Liff scours the incorporeal plane, and he's not able to find a rock gnome that fits the description. Thanks, Marvani, for the bits. Totally appreciate it.
Try.
No, it was a good idea. That's why I gave you an inspiration. That was a really good idea.
That's the only one you have. Remember, you only live once.
Oh my goodness gracious. All right, so let's see. Urka, you have the Nimblewright detector. You start scouring all of the different wards of Waterdeep. The other members of the party, what are you guys doing as Urka takes off? And you guys will meet back up later.
I might just whisper to Dog. Lesson 1: do not call dragonborns lizards.
But lizard lady, what don't call dragonborn?
Dragons are like huge, like Gandalf dragons. But like lizards, they're like tiny. Well, there could be lizard people out there.
Okay.
You can tell the difference because they could only be green, I think. Yeah.
What, Dragonborn? No, they can be all.
Lizards.
It depends on your.
Lizard.
Oh, lizards?
Lizards.
Oh, I'm sure they can be all kinds of different colors, right? But I'm sure most of them are probably green, yeah. But I think there's some other colored lizards and stuff out there.
Like
I think
a
from a dog
chameleon.
Yeah, he's any color. So I'll tell you what. I'll just. I'm gonna be hanging around the bar, trying to pick up some ladies. No, actually, I'll be hanging around the bar.
Going
just
on
telling
Craigslist again? Going on
That's right,
Waterdeep's
yeah.
Craigslist
That's
again?
Yeah, Lothar's list. But yeah, I'm just gonna hang around the bar and just keep an eye out on stuff, looking for action, maybe playing some darts, maybe waiting for someone that's gonna mud wrestle me.
You get a couple takers. But we'll just
get some takers. I'll
we'll
roll the crap out of that.
We'll just let the minds take over on that. But yeah. So what are you guys going to try to do? Are you guys going to try to find the morgue that they're in, that they're going to be in, or what? You know that they're probably in some kind of like maybe a city watch station, or maybe one of the cellars of a local temple or something like that.
Yeah, so I think that's what we ought to do as Urka is flying around.
I'll ask people.
We'll go to the nearest watch station and just ask them. So who wants to go with me?
I'll go.
All right, so you go to one of the nearby local watch stations, and the watch guard asks you, why are you asking questions about this?
Well,
why the interest?
We think the gnome might be a relative of one of our friends, and they asked us to check it out and to see. And actually, this gnome, this friend of ours, he's a wizard. He gave us this Speak with Dead scroll and said, "Hey, go ask him what his name is, and then he'll stop worrying about his nephew." Hey, we're getting 10 gold out of this for doing this chore for him, so we really would like to do it.
Well,
Just take a minute.
Well, we'll see that. Seeing that you're getting a 10 gold reward for this, I'll take 20% of that. I'll take 2 gold, and I'll give you the location of where they're keeping the bodies.
Well,
so you scratch my back, and I'll scratch yours, if you know what I mean.
All right. So I'll take out 1 gold piece and give it to him, and go, I'll give you the other gold piece when we see the body.
Well, that sounds like a fair deal, and of course, we'll keep this between you and myself, correct?
Yeah. I mean, it's just a quick couple of questions, and then we'll be out of here.
Sure, and in fact, he says that he'll even escort you to the local temple where the bodies are being kept, actually. So
by the way, by
yes.
the time to get to the temple, Donk's already there because I was asking around in the bar.
Donk's already waiting there. He's kind of leaning up against his weapon. He's like, "What took you guys so long?" Duh!
And I would expect that Wookrath would come with me as well.
Okay, yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm here with the spray bottle out.
Everybody's just... I can just imagine just Wookrath leaning him around Waterdeep with this damn water bottle just pointed at Donk the whole entire time. That is just great. But anyways, Wookrath and Donk, you're at the temple, and Epter and Dantes, you are escorted with the guard, and the guard just takes you right in, speaks to the clerics, and there's a couple of clerics that are inside of the morgue, and there's these huge blocks of ice. So as you enter the morgue, they take you down these dark, creep, dusty stairs into a larger room, and as you walk in, it has the slight scent of death in the room. But it's very cold because there's these huge blocks of ice that are, keeping the bodies fresh, I guess you could say. And as you were walking in, there were a couple of clerics from that local temple casting some spells on the bodies. And, they're basically preserving the bodies with like a gentle riposte spell. And the guards say, these are family members of one of the deceased victims here. And the acolytes, they bow, and then they just leave the cellar, and they close the door behind them. And the guard, he kind of sticks out his hand for the other gold.
Yeah, give him the other gold.
I'll just high five him.
He says, he gives you a high five, Donk, and he takes his gold and walks right out of the room and shuts the door behind him. So you are in the morgue with 3 bodies. There are 2 human bodies and the gnome body. And you remember the 2 human bodies, they had the symbol of the Zentrum on there. The snake and the wings and stuff. So there's 3 bodies here. Gnome, 2 humans. What say you?
All right. Well, I'm gonna, get out one of the scrolls and read it in front of the gnome there, and see if I can't figure out.
And I'll just have you know, the cold really doesn't bother me that much because of my mountain born. But I will definitely, when we know what's going on, I'm gonna walk around and I'll turn to Dantes and I'll say, Dantes, what question you ask?
Well, I would actually, I would recommend Dantes giving the scrolls to Epter so he can use the scrolls, because remember, if you can't use a scroll, you're going to have to do an intelligence arcane check. And if the scroll is unsuccessful, then we're going to have to go to the wild magic surge table.
Nice. No, I want to do that.
Ooh, nice. It's gonna be nice it's gonna be awesome when you fail it and then center a fireball on yourself and boom, blow up the morgue. I love it. Okay.
Hey, it can happen. So, is this an Arcana type spell? Is that what this is?
It is a no. It's a Speak with the Dead is a clerical spell. So, and you're a sorcerer. So
I'm a sorcerer. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'll hand it over to Eptor.
Okay, all right, that's cool. But you have, like I've said, all players can cast scrolls, and even including Donk. I'll just make you do an intelligence check, and if you're proficient with arcane, I'll let you do that. Or if you're using like a healing scroll or something like that, if you're proficient with medicine, I'll let you use that. So this is sort of like a house rule that I have.
Okay.
But if you do your arcane check, and it's a base of a DC 10 plus the level of the spell. So Speak with Dead is first level, I believe. So that would be a DC of 11 that you would need for the check. So if you fail it, we go to the Wild Magic Surge table, and that's what happens. And you lose the scroll, by the way. So I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I'll have Eptor do it then.
Okay. It's sort of like, I envisioned it as in Bruce Campbell and the Army of Darkness going up to the altar where the Book of the Dead is, and him chanting the words Klaatu, Nektu, Necktie, or Nectar, or whatever like that, something like that as reading a scroll. And of course he didn't do it right, and yeah, it was good times. Love that movie. All right, so Dante's, you give the scrolls to Eptor, and what corpses do you think you want to speak with the dead? What do you think?
Donk says stack all corpses on each other.
No. Just the gnome at first.
All right, is there any specific questions you guys want me to ask?
Yeah, like what his name is and why he was killed.
Okay.
Speak with the Dead's a little bit higher, but
Donk
that's okay.
wants to know favorite color.
All
Favorite
right.
food? It's a level 3 spell, but no big deal. It's for the story. You know what I mean? I mean, what the hell? All right, so you use the scroll Hocus Pocus Alakazam, and you are now in communication with the dead gnome. And he tells you that his name is Dalakar. Dalakar. Dalakar.
Dalakar.
Yep.
Dalakar. What led you to be chased by the two men that were chasing you this morning?
Dalakar replies,
Well, let's see. I worked for the Open Lord of Waterdeep. Of course, it would be Lord Daggled Neverember. And I stole an artifact called the Stone of Galore from the lair of a beholder known as Xanathar in a dungeon deep below the city. And I'm taking that Xanathar wanted the Stone of Galore back.
Very well. Where is the Stone of Galar now?
That I do not know. I had the stone upon the explosion. All I felt was a bunch of heat and I blacked out, buddy. That's what happened. But I had the gem, but I don't know where it is now.
Okay.
Come on, we ain't got all day. What other? We got 3 more questions, buddy. I ain't got all day
like
here.
He's from Jersey.
yeah.
Anybody?
Too good.
Anybody want to help me out here?
Yeah. So who killed you?
Well, let's see. Xanathar, he runs a guild, like I said, down there. Well, actually, he's one of the heavy. I guess you could say he's one of the heavy hands of Waterdeep here. He has a guild in the dungeon deep below the city, under mountain, and I guess he found out that I stole it. I don't know how he did. I thought I got in and out of there undetected, but I was actually I heard about a group of adventurers who rescued my employers, Lord Neverember's son, from the Zentarum, and I personally thought that the Stone of Galar would be safe in their hands for the time being, so I went to Troll Skull Alley to find these adventurers that saved Raynar, and I wanted to deliver the stone to them. And of course, I planned on coming back and reclaiming it after I had eluded old Xanathar and his Zentarum goons and sellswords. But then I'm just kind of strolling along. Boom! Fireball goes off. I feel a bunch of heat and I black out, just like I told the other guy. It wasn't a good day. It wasn't a good day for Dalakar at all.
If I was there, I might want to ask, what is the power? What is the stone's power? What does it do? Why did you want it?
Who said that? I heard that. Who said that? Even though I don't see
it. I was going to ask that next, actually. So, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
What does the stone do, and why is it so valuable?
Well, I guess I could go ahead and tell you now that I'm burnt to a crisp here in a burnt husk laying in front of you on a table. Well, the Stone of Galar is the key to finding a hoard of dragon's treasure hidden somewhere in this city. It was hidden there by Lord Neverember himself, and then he had his mind blanked, and he forgot where the treasure was. But this is where the Stone of Galar comes into play. The Stone of Galar knows the location of the dragon hoard of treasure.
I gasp.
You got 4 questions down, buddy. You got one more. You better make it a good one.
I just look at Dalakar, like just saying nothing. I'm just.
Time is money, friend.
Anybody else?
Get that?
How do
You guys
work
get that?
the Stone of Galar? How does it work?
That's a good question. You just use it, I guess, and it tells you the location. You rub it or hump it or something, but it'll tell you where the treasure is.
Great. All right.
Where is it?
You're out of questions, knucklehead.
No!
Talk to you later. Gotta go. Bye-bye.
Good luck in death.
Yeah, screw you too, buddy. And he just fades out, and you don't hear anything else from the gnome, Dalakar.
So I look around the room and I'm confused. So he said, and we're pretty sure that it was Zents that were chasing him. But the Zents don't work for Xanathar. Am I confused about that? Am I wrong about that?
Maybe they're working together on this one. I mean, one gang's as good as another gang. I don't know.
Yeah, just trying to figure out what's going on. I guess we can interrogate one of these
Zents. Ask this guy next, so maybe we'll because the gnome can only tell us what he knew, and so maybe he didn't have the whole story. And I'll hand you the second scroll and say, well, I guess just pick one of these losers.
All right, I'll cast a spell.
Hocus pocus alakazam. You use the second scroll of Speak with the Dead, and you are talking to someone named Bashik Ortalis, and the first words out of his mouth after he introduces you with his name, he says, "I just heard that! Who just called me a loser?"
No, we asked the questions.
Fair enough.
Who do you work
You
for?
gonna bring me back to life?
Maybe. Who do you work for?
Well, my colleague and myself. My colleague is Warren Malcrave. We work for Urstel Floxton, and we were contracted. We are members of the Zentrum organization, and we were hired by Urstel Floxton. And he came to Gralhund Villa and hired us. He hired us to find this stupid little gnome that got us in trouble, and now we're ended up here as lumps of coal. We were supposed to hunt down this gnome named Dalakar. Oh, and we found him all right. And as soon as we were fixing to pounce on the prey, all of a sudden this fireball exploded in the alley, and then the rest is history.
All right. Well, so who threw the fireball?
I have no clue. But I hope you find him. Give him one for the road for me.
Was Urstel with you? Did he survive the fire blast? First question.
I think
was he
so.
with you?
No, yes, Ursula was with us, yes.
Oh, sounds good.
2 questions left.
Are you working with Xanathars?
I have done work for Xanathar, yes.
Does anybody else have a question?
I believe Urstel, he does directly work with Xanathar.
Oh, very good. Have you ever seen a Nimblewright?
I have heard of those types of constructs, yes.
I believe the question was,
Nimblewright?
have you ever seen one?
Yes, I have seen them, yes. Why? I get to ask you a question. There's plenty all over the city. There's some to the south. There's some in the docks wards. But yeah, we've done work with them before in the past, doing odd jobs and such.
We think a Nimblewright may have cast the fireball.
They have been known to be assassins. Maybe it was wanting the same thing as what we were trying to find Dalakar for. Dalakar had some type of artifact in his possession. And according to Urstel told us that it would make us all as rich as kings. Gotta go! Take care! Bye-bye!
Good luck at that.
Screw you, buddy! And he fades out.
That name Urstel Floxen sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's the name of my dog.
Yeah, I've known like 4 or 5 guys named Urstel.
Had an uncle named Urstel.
Did you? Wow.
No, I thought we were being funny. Sorry.
I was going to say that's definitely
Dave's like, oh, that's weird.
That's a grandfather's name. That's for sure.
From Texas.
Well,
Hell yeah.
Growlham Villa? I think that might be a place to check.
Ah, yes. I will go ahead and put that into the tracker for you. That was Gralhund Villa. There you go. I put that in the chat for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Well, let's get out of here. These guys are starting to stink, and let's see if we can't.
We need to find this gnome's possessions. We need to find this gnome's possessions. He might still. They might have the stone here. He said he had it on him when he died.
No, he didn't have it. We already knew that someone ran off after taking something from him, and I had a chance to look at the body before the guard showed up, and I start to whisper this part.
Yeah, that was
And,
one of the.
You know, he had a little bit of valuables on him, but he didn't have anything else. He didn't have any stone or anything like that. So I think someone already got it.
Yeah, all of the bodies are. I mean, they've all been delicately, prepared and stuff, but they have no possessions on them. But yeah, you remember the 3 eyewitnesses that you had talked to after the explosion. Fala, the owner of the Corlin's Crown, she was the one who saw someone flee the scene after scouring over the gnome's body and reaching into one of the pouches of the gnome and basically ripping it off of him. And that was Fowler.
The guy that was the one that Woocraft and I were chasing. Yeah,
that was who exactly, because that person ran from the north entrance as you're looking on the Troll Skull alley map to the northeast entrance and ran down towards the Bent Nail, and then you and Woocraft had gone through the back alleyways to try to find that perpetrator, and you were unsuccessful. And with the help, of course, of Urka was circling over the area above, and you didn't see anything. But yeah, it was Fala. Remember, she was up in the top part of her garden, her atrium that she had up there with all of the herbs and stuff that she was tending to, and then the explosion happened, a bunch of glass shattered, etc. And that's when she, after all of the confusion and stuff, and with all the screaming and everything going on, she had saw the perpetrator, taking stuff off of the gnome.
So nobody, this name Erstal Floxen doesn't sound familiar to anybody else? I would almost swear I've heard that since.
I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah, well, Dave, did kind of do a check on that, or?
Yeah.
Have we heard that name before? And I don't remember.
Even with the roll, no, you haven't heard it before. But okay. You had a run-in at the very beginning of our quest here. Remember with the slight engagement or fight with the barroom brawl with the half-orc, that was basically someone from Xanathar's guild you had a problem with, and the big fight started and all that stuff. But it wasn't Urson Floxel. No, it wasn't. No, it was like Tarum or something like that.
Well, I mean, maybe we ask around, in a seedy establishment someplace. And or do we have any connections with Xanathar's guild or with the Zentarum?
Is anybody in the Zentarum guild? Anybody in the party? I don't think anybody's in any organizations. Right. So you wouldn't have any contacts.
I'm in the Goliath Scouts of America.
You're in the Jelly of the Month Club.
That's right, the Jelly of the Month Club.
That's the gift that just keeps on giving year round, Clark. So why don't we go ahead and yeah, it is. I watch it every year, man, and it never gets old. So why don't we everybody gets back to the. We'll go ahead and we'll end it for tonight. Everybody gets back to the manor. And this is hours have gone by. Urka, you've done a full scour of the city, and the Nimblewright, The Nimblewright detector has gone off in several places in Waterdeep, and I will tell you next week where you had seen them. So we'll be meeting again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. So great game tonight, everybody. You guys found out a lot tonight. And,
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll continue next week at 8 p.m. Mountain Time.
Oh, wait, I
Okey
just
dokey.
wanted to fly in with my opening line. Wanted to fly in and say, man, I just flew in from Waterdeep, and boy, are my wings tired.
But it doesn't. I don't know. Does it work if you actually have wings, though?
I think that works even better, man.
And as you fly in to meet everybody else, Urka, Liff takes a glass and slings it down the bar to you, and magically, with like Mage Hand or something like that, pours a drink of your favorite drink. So, and we'll all meet back up next week, and Urka's got some information for you. And plus, you guys know about this Gralhund Villa, where the two Zentrum agents were from.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right,
For
everybody.
some reason, I'm getting the feeling that someone should animate what we're talking about and put it like in a series where we show ourselves as characters.
That would be a lot of work. Good luck with that. I'm no artiste. It would all be stick figures. Can you draw, Woocraft?
No.
Neither can I. I can't even barely
You
draw
should do
stick figures.
stick
so-
figures anyway.
Yeah, that would be horrible. No, I don't think that would be a good idea. Worm. All right, everybody. Great game tonight. I'll see you guys next week, and we'll continue on.
All right.
All right.
See ya.
Thanks, everybody.
Nice day.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Yep.
Good game.
See you, everybody. Yep. Thanks.